So, this is an email sent me by this very nice person who works for our library, the Gladys Marcus Library. You guys should know that there are a lot of great resources in the library, and you are going to find out a little bit about one or two of them in this class. So, read the email. Um, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to the Gladys Marcus Library site. One way to access it is from Blackboard. I think you can click to Gladys Marcus Library. I think there's a navigation in the upper right-hand corner of the site, if my memory serves. And if you click it, it'll give you another link that'll actually take you to the library site. You're going to click on databases. Databases are organized alphabetically. You're going to go to D. You're going to click on demographics now, and this is going to get you into the database where you're going to do a homework assignment. Now, you've got links here, which you're going to need to do before you do the homework assignment. You can click the Mosaic Handbook because the homework assignment is going to be pulled from two external database resources in the library. One is Demographics Now in general, the other is Mosaic. Then there are two videos to watch, and the links to each video are right here in the email. So you're going to need to, after you watch the lecture, before you do the homework assignment, you're going to need to click those links. Okay, folks. All right, let's keep moving. He said, hopefully. Actually, I can't change slides unless I find my cursor. Click at the bottom of the screen, and then I can change. So that is a bit about external databases and Axiom and first, second, third-party data, and then giving you an example of an external database to use for the homework assignment, which you'll see in this week's folder. Now, I want to talk about multivariate analysis. It sounds scarier than it is, but a lot of database science work uses this tool. And this example here, basically what you're doing is you're trying to find out which trait contributes most to a certain behavior. The trait is called an independent variable, and the behavior is called a dependent variable. The little chart down here takes the traits of age and gender as the independent variable and the behavior of religious attendance frequency as the dependent variable. So the data that we shows on the left the dependent variable, how often do you attend church, about weekly or less often. And then the columns are, you've got age, under 40 and older, and then you have gender under that. So which contributes the most, or more, I should say, since there are two of them, to whether someone attends church more often? Their age or their gender? And so just eyeballing these data, we can say that age and gender both contribute, and that the people who go the most tend to be women, 40 and older. 45% of that group goes to church about weekly. This was a few years ago. This was from 2006. All right, so there are no clear answers here, but you get an idea of the kind of thinking and what the concept is. I'm actually gonna skip this as being a little complicated and go to the next one. All right. Let's say in this case that the dependent variable, the behavior variable, is whether someone buys Nikes or a lot or not. And the independent variable, the traits, are their interest in fitness and their gender. So what happens in the multivariate analysis is that the query, the algorithm goes into the database and, let's say, looks at the different genders and sees whether switching gender in the customer record has much of an influence on whether they buy Nikes or not. Does it make a huge difference in whether they buy Nikes or not? Or a little bit of a difference or no difference? And I can do that by kind of jiggling through the records. Okay. I do the same thing with interest in fitness. And so I jiggle the independent variables. I observe the effect on the dependent variable. And at the end of the day, I can rank the independent variables in terms of how much they affect the behavior. And that can guide my marketing. So for instance, if I find that interest in fitness has the most impact on whether I'm a Nike MVC, it's going to guide my messaging. It's going to guide my media choice. I'm going to be in Runner's World magazine. Okay. Um, okay. So there can be lots of variables, lots of traits that we can attribute to our MVCs, but I can't address every single trait in all of my marketing. I've got to pick the most important ones. Okay. I hope I explained that adequately. And guess what? That's the end of the lecture. It's a pretty short lecture, you'll be thrilled to say. I'm actually adding an assignment here, as I said I would. So just bear with me while I create content right before your very eyes. Um, do, whoop, do zip code uh, assignment on BB. The zip, whoop, BB. Come on, my typing could be better. BB. What I'm going to ask you to do is the zip code you grew up in, you're going to run an analysis on it using Demographics Now and Mosaic. And those of you who weren't born in the US, just choose a zip code that you would like to visit. And so what did we, here's the first team assignment. I think you should have had one meeting. You're going to have another team meeting, which is facilitated meetings. Hopefully you're meeting live on a phone call. I know this is a virtual class, but hopefully you can all do a phone call at the same time of day. You're going to choose someone to facilitate the meeting, right? Whose responsibility it is to do an agenda and make sure everyone contributes and stick to the agenda. And then you're going to move things along. If you've already chosen the brand you're doing the direct mail piece for, you're going to want to now find communications and advertising and the website and emails, whatever you can, mostly advertising though. If you can find a direct mail piece, that's great too. You're going to want to reverse engineer the piece that you find and create whatever the copy strategy was, and this will guide you with whatever you create for direct mail piece. You'll make sure it's consistent with what the company's already doing. So what you should be doing now is, as I say, finishing deciding your brand, pulling the communications and assigning someone or maybe a couple of people to do the Tabasco. You're going to talk about the Tabasco, make sure you're cool with it. And then you're going to probably brainstorm about what you want to have in this direct mailing. How are you going to move? Who's the target customer? Who is the target customer? You got to really show an understanding of that target customer. Demographics, psychographics, where do they live? And this is a new customer you're going for, this mail piece. A new customer. I don't want a mail piece towards current customers. I want a mail piece that's going to attract new customers. Okay, so, and then you're going to submit a team meeting report after your meeting. Who attended? What date was it? What did you discuss? And then most importantly, what are the next steps? Who's doing what by when? There's the assignment. If you need to refer to it again. So what do we do today? Well, actually, we did not talk about offers. Can't believe I didn't change this. I'm sorry, you guys. We kept talking. We talked about segmentation, and I basically said it was underneath databases. And let's do this. And once again, your whiz of a professor is creating and adjusting content right in front of you. And this is what we did. Was it not? Come on, puppy. Come on. Oh, okay. Going to be difficult. All right. And now we are done with class 4. Okay. See you in the next lecture.